Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Voshiman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the energies and the numerology for the full moon that's occurring on February 16th or 17th, depending on where you live within the world. The energies and the numerology that we're going to be focusing on in this forecast are the 15-6, the 16-7, and the 17-8. So before we dive in, I want to remind you that I have just recently launched my one-on-one life path coaching with numerology offering. And what this is an opportunity for you and I to sit down face-to-face over Zoom to really dissect your numerology chart, your year ahead forecast, and to really take a deeper look at the energies that are surfacing, what you could be potentially going through. If you've got questions, we can discuss those. This is going to be, again, just open dialogue, no script, except for, of course, your report, but an opportunity to just discuss whatever's going on in your life at the moment and how the numerology can reflect that and what potentially you could do to sort of mitigate and work with those energies. So again, it's about self-discovery and empowerment. So if that's something that you are interested in, I will leave the information down below to book some time with me. I would absolutely love to work with you in this capacity. Also, this full moon forecast is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, of course, please book some time with me. My information, again, is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into this full moon energy. This is going to be a potent one for sure. And so out of those energies that I listed, the 15-6, 16-7, and 17-8 energies, I feel like the 16-7 are going to be the most potent of the illuminations that we'll sort of be feeling. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look at those energies first to see what we can maybe expect from this energy. So think of this 16-7 as sort of the force that comes in to really just shake things up. So if there's an area within your life where things have become mundane, stagnant, uninspiring, or even dormant, like you've sort of swept things under the rug and haven't wanted to deal with them, this energy is sort of like an earthquake generating the tsunami within our lives to wake us up and to draw our attention to those spaces to be decisive on what it is that we want to do in relation to those areas. So this can be a time when unexpected opportunities come sort of rushing in, but in order to say yes to those opportunities, we have to release or greatly transform the older energy that isn't working for us anymore. So this isn't going to be all about just throwing caution to the wind. These will be calculated risks that we're taking. Ones we will need to really use both of our knowledge and our wisdom to make the decisions that's best for us. However, if that decision is one that goes against our true nature and what our soul, not our ego, desires, then plan on facing some unexpected challenges to help usher you back into alignment. This is an energy that sort of leaves no stone unturned. So even those things that you have sort of, again, tucked away into the shadows, trying to ignore, and hey, we've all been there, they may be brought up to the surface now to face and to deal with them. So if you think about an earthquake, it's the earth releasing tension to find relief. So we are now being asked to acknowledge and work through any points of tension to move towards calmer waters. So some tensions we may not even be aware of until they're sort of unearthed, and then we can see, right? Like, through the newfound awareness where we have been sort of clenching our teeth or grinding our teeth without knowing it. So this energy helps us to discover the root cause of that tension so that we can alleviate it and open up that space. So this is a very sort of awakening sort of energy, continuing to push us towards further embracing our own truth and our own authenticity. So you may see sudden events occur now, both individually and on the global stage, that sort of just erupt with the intention for overthrowing existing, outdated, materialistic conditions. So in some instances, this may be done in sort of a rather forceful manner, similar to like tower energy in tarot. And it's nothing to be, again, like afraid of or worried about. It's one of those things where it's like, if this energy is coming in full force, it's because there is something that we need to deal with that we have been avoiding. This is like, those things that we don't want to face or we don't want to deal with, we don't want to work through, are now like going to be in our face, to be dealt with, to be worked through, so that we can create that space and clean out that space to allow something much more aligned to move in. During this illumination, sort of take the time to explore the passions of your heart, but also allow the more realistic mind to offer some checks and balances here as well, right? So this isn't really a time under this illumination to take speculative risks. Always come back to the why. Why do you want whatever this is? Why are you doing whatever this is? Why are you pursuing whatever this is? Selfish ambitions fall under this 16 energy. And so those sort of more selfish ambitions can, of course, have consequences potentially, right, down the road. So going after something or someone that requires you or the others involved to sort of bulldoze others or do something without integrity to get what you want will ultimately have repercussions that you will eventually have to deal with, right, and work through. So there's no sort of like scot-free here. It's one of those things where it's like you will be responsible for your actions under this energy. So just make sure that you keep it clean, you keep it ethical, and, just be upfront and honest with your actions and maintain your integrity, and there won't be anything to clean up later. It's as simple as that. So if something feels right, if something feels wrong. So follow that instinct. This can be really sort of like impulsive energy. And so it's not like you're just like intentionally going out to create chaos or hurt someone or you do any of those things, right? But because it is an impulsive energy, like think Mars type energy, right, in astrology. Because it's such an impulsive energy, it can be really easy to get caught up in that. And so you might, I don't know, let's say you're married and there's, temptation comes to your door and you're influenced by this energy and you sort of lose your awareness and you do something and you cheat on that person or something, right? Not that was your intent, but again, it's like those impulsive things that happen, right? That sort of take over. And so that's why I'm saying just be aware. We do have to have self-control, and ultimately we are responsible for our actions, right? And so even though this impulsive energy can just be like feel larger than life, you ultimately have control over your actions. So just be mindful of what it is that you ultimately choose to do with this energy, because it can disrupt a lot, or it can also help you to create a lot, which I'll also talk about in just a moment, but just be aware of it. So you may really have to have self-control during this illumination. You may have to hit the pause button. You might have to hit the stop button and sort of assess, then reassess before taking action, before taking that big leap now. Because we wouldn't want you to have buyer's remorse, right? Or, have regret for an action that you took, in hindsight. So just be aware that these are the energies we're working with. But ultimately, remember, we do have autonomy. Like we do have, control over ourselves. So, yeah. Okay, so there are some beautiful possibilities under this illumination as well for incredible rewards. It's not just all sort of like trying, challenging, testing energy. So unexpected creative talents can be sparked at this time. And again, think Mars. Like Mars is like that fire energy. It's coming in, it's sparking, the flame, and it's like reigniting the passion. And that passion can be channeled into something positive, into something very, very creative, like using that life force for good. So for some, when Mars is involved, and I know I'm sort of moving into like astrology here, but and I'm not an astrologer, but we all kind of feel these energies. But with Mars, sometimes it's like some people, they can feel the anger, the aggression, like that, those emotions, those strong emotions that are tied to Mars energy. And so even if you don't feel that sort of anger, aggression, whatever kind of coming to the surface, whatever comes up for you at this time, whether again, it's sort of like you're faced with a situation that, would put you in an unethical situation, channel that energy, channel it into and sort of transmute it into something really positive. This can be such a fantastic time for, again, tapping into those creative talents and doing something really, really positive with them. This is a new, exciting sort of, opportunity for destined relationships to take off. So a sudden onslaught of, again, if you're single or looking to mingle and all those things, you may meet somebody at this time that's very, very destined, and you'll feel that spark, you'll feel that connection. Or it could be that there's a connection from the past coming back up to be reevaluated, but it feels very, very kismic. It feels very cosmically connected. Again, this can be a time for sudden financial gain, fame, incredible prosperity can occur under this illumination. It can all be ignited now. So enjoy all of the riches that the 16-7 energy sort of has the potential to usher in for you now. But be mindful to not get overly attached or obsessed with ownership, right? Again, we're talking about like really passionate energy when it comes to Mars. And again, with this 16. So just be really careful that you don't get overly attached or obsessed with ownership, whatever this is, whether it's about the money or the resources or a person, right? So everything is ultimately a gift from the unseen. Everything is a gift from the universe. And it's all just temporary, right? We know this. We know that we're like just visitors here. We're just here for a short period of time on this planet. And so everything is temporary. So enjoy it while you have it, while you have access to it, while you get to, experience it, and then release it with gratitude when the time arrives to do so. Everything is cyclical. And so the 16 energy is going to remind us of that in sort of all ways, right? Because it's cyclical in the fact that there are going to be some things potentially that are sort of taken away, right? So that these new things can come in. So again, just think of like a cycle. It's like one thing, it's just like seasons, with something a season begins and then it ends, and then a new season comes in and then it ends, and then a new season comes in and then it ends. And so it's the same thing with everything in our life. Every single thing, even this physical body, everything is cyclical. So just be really aware of and mindful about what you get attached to, what you feel you have ownership over, and what you become like sort of obsessed over, because none of that is real, right? So there's purpose to everything that enters our life, but it's not meant to be owned by us, if that makes sense. So, okay, so next we have the energy of the 15-6. So this is an area that's highlighted with the potential to, again, this is beautiful. This is like you could potentially receive money, gifts, or favors from others at this time. And if that arises for you, be really open to receiving graciously and with an open heart. Like if these gifts are coming into you, it's because there's a reason. You've cleared out the space for them to come in. You've put in the effort to see that, like, whatever that is, to flow into you. Or, these are contracts that you have with these people to be able to be supportive of you while you, do your creative thing. So, a lot of times we struggle as humans with falling into receptivity mode. And so this 15-6 energy is sort of helping you to embrace that side of yourself, the more feminine side of yourself, the receptivity. And so if someone wants to give you a gift or do something nice for you, you have every right to say no to that gift if you want to. But they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. You owe them nothing in return. Even if they try to make you feel like you do, you owe them nothing in return. A gift is a gift. So just be open to what comes your way and don't shame yourself for saying yes to it. Say yes graciously with an open heart. There can be opportunities for progress to come about through some kind of like radical change in your lifestyle that somehow sort of like releases you from present limitations and allows you to express yourself more openly and freely. So you may find that sort of like long held views and belief systems sort of change or have the opportunity for change at this time, and new perspectives help to set your mind at ease and release those old fears and those old wounds. So there could be a little bit of like deeper work at this time, but I think you'll find that like something will come in and like offer you a new vantage point, a new perspective, a new lens to see things through that will sort of almost quickly change your perspective, your beliefs, your views on something, and that will have that sort of volcanic shift, right? Or tectonic shift or whatever it's called. So within your mind, so that you can see things differently and you can kind of ease yourself from those old fears and those wounds. So this can be a really beautiful, transformative time as well. This can be a period for sort of making decisions and decisive action. It's really important to decide whether the experiences of this period are limiting you or setting you free. So you may see, past relationships surface that maybe need to be reassessed or reevaluated, and there may be the potential for you to enter back into that relationship, and you just need to ask yourself, if I enter back into this relationship, am I limiting myself or am I freeing? Is this going to be freeing for me? You know what I'm saying? So, because you can be with somebody and be independent and free. So you just need to make sure that you're kind of like looking at that. Like, again, stand back, become the observer, and look beneath the surface to see the situation for how it really is, rather than how you wish it were. So I'm going to say that one more time because I think it's really, really important. Stand back, become the observer, and look beneath the surface to see the situation for how it is, rather than how you wish it were. And that can be around jobs, your career, relationships, friendships, whatever, money, it doesn't matter. How you make money, how you spend money, list goes on and on and on. So that's really, really going to be important under this 15 energy. So the reality of the situation must be considered and understood when making decisions now. Discernment is going to be key. Discernment is going to be your best friend. Also, try to see beyond the limitations of a situation to come to sort of a more peaceful and satisfying solution, right? Because things can feel limiting for a variety of reasons, but if we can see beyond those limitations, sometimes we'll see beyond those limitations and be like, okay, this isn't what I want, so I understand why I was being limited. And sometimes we'll see those limitations and we'll be like, oh yeah, I can figure this out. I can move beyond this, whatever this is. So that's going to be up to you to decide how you want to handle that and how you want to manage that energy and how you want to move through it. Okay, and then finally, we have this 17-8 energy, and this is just such incredibly beautiful energy. I think we had this in December, for the cycle of December, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it's an incredibly fortunate, beautiful vibration. So think good fortune, rewards, travel for pleasure, assistance from others to help you to fully step into your own power. This is a very, very powerful cycle for money, gifts, advancements, promotions, getting the green light in relationships and endeavors. Somewhere where there were roadblocks, those roadblocks are now being lifted. So the construction zone is completed and it's full speed ahead in a very accelerated way under this energy. And you can also kind of tie this in with Mars energy as well. But I would also say Jupiter energy as well, because this is the benevolent, giving of gifts and expansiveness and just things just sort of falling into place seemingly by magic, even though in most cases you've done the effort to receive those rewards. But it can kind of seem like everything coming to fruition at once, and it can feel incredibly, incredibly beautiful. So you can receive unexpected recognition now, others seeing and appreciating your value, and you getting to share your mastery and your gifts in a much more sort of substantial way if you desire to, right? If you desire to do so. So this energy can be like the star card in tarot, where it's like bringing your wishes to fulfillment, and you can really sort of feel a new sense of sort of like renewed hope and inspiration under this illumination. It is so incredibly beautiful. So take advantage of it. Absolutely. Just don't lose sight again of your why, right? Like why it is that you're going after what it is that you're going after, and just make sure that there's integrity there, and there's, that you're doing it for the right reasons, basically. So reach for the stars, and remember, you are the star of your own show. So shine, 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 and own it. So incredible energies, very, very powerful energies for this full moon mid-month. So take advantage of it, use the energies to the best of your ability, and, just be open to what it wants to show you. Remember, as I always say, the energies can be present, but if we don't work with them, if we don't do anything with them, or if we, however we choose to participate, however we choose to use them is ultimately what will determine our experience. So use them wisely. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.